y'all, it has been a while since I have pulled out my good camera equipment to film a video, because today's video is going to be a what I eat in a day. So this video has been highly requested over the past 3 years. I'm sorry that it's taken this long to get it out. My goal for most of these meals right now are lower carb because I'm 31 weeks pregnant right now, and my doctor told me to eat a lower carb diet just to keep swelling down and to keep the baby's weight manageable. And so far it's been great. I want to talk about that in a pregnancy video another time. These videos are going to be more like focused on protein and lower carb. I am not keto for this pregnancy, but it's going to look like I'm following a few keto guidelines. But I think it's just really healthy in general to keep out processed, simple carbs. Just, they're not necessary to our diet. And I'll insert 2 pictures right here just to show you that I was eating these meals, these kinds of meals, while I looked like this when I was pretty thin and lifting very heavy weight. Since getting into fitness, I have learned that protein intake is super important, and I was not eating near enough protein. So these meals are some sneaky ways to get your protein in while still enjoying your life. So I hope you guys like this video, and if you do, I can do more of these. Since we've moved into a house instead of living in a camper, I have loved cooking a whole lot more. So I would love to do more videos like this. If you want to see what I eat in a day with higher protein, lower carb macros, keep watching. Okay, so starting out, you're going to need some protein powder. We use V-Pro in the flavor vanilla. It is vegan. And then I have some monk fruit extract that I'll use for a syrup later. Some almond milk that's unsweetened vanilla. I throw some cinnamon in there along with some PB2. I use this peanut butter that is organic for topping, an egg, and some blackberries or strawberries or any other topping that you desire at this point. You can get super creative with that if you want. You can use almond flour or coconut flour or flax. These are all totally optional. I prefer PB2 though. I try to keep my toppings low carb, and berries are pretty low carb. So I start by dumping 1 scoop of the protein powder in along with 1 egg, some baking powder. You only need about ½ a teaspoon, and a dash of cinnamon. And then I use about 2 tablespoons. This is 2 3/4 tablespoons of PB2 as a thickener. And then I do a splash of almond milk. You don't want to do too much. It's always better to start with a little and keep adding it to get to the consistency that we want. And we are looking for this kind of consistency where it's just kind of dribbling off of the fork. Next, I get my pan going at a medium to high heat. I use a non-stick spray. At this point, you can use butter, ghee, oil, whatever you want. And then I choose to make smaller, like little disc-sized pancakes. You can make really big ones, but I just prefer the ease of flipping this size because it's just smaller, easier to deal with, it cooks faster. So you can see these hold together beautifully, they flip nicely, they get a nice little crisp if you've used some sort of fat to cook them in. And I let them sit. I just kind of go till they're firm, and they cook really well, thoroughly, so I don't worry about it. But I am going to show you here a larger one. Because of the consistency of this, I have to spread it around a little bit. You could thin it out with more almond milk, but I don't like really thin pancakes, so I prefer to just push it around until I get a nice circle. And you can totally add things to your pancakes. Sometimes I add chocolate chips if I'm feeling it, but today I'm doing blueberries just to demonstrate. Flipping it, and that one is done. So now here's where you can get as creative as you want to. I typically just stick with a nut butter. Here I have melted peanut butter, and I'm adding some of that monk fruit extract to sweeten it a little bit. And I don't like syrup, but you could totally do syrup. I've seen people do whipped cream, chocolate, sprinkles. You can get as Instagram worthy as you want, but for me, I'm just gonna do berries and this peanut butter. It's really, really tasty, and it's also photo worthy. I'm putting the base of this pancake recipe macros up right here. You can see that it has 33 grams of protein with the egg and the protein powder. Be careful with your toppings, that can really kill you on your calorie count, but if you wanna have some fun, then go for it. I try to keep this below 500 calories for a breakfast. They are just a great consistency. I'm so happy I discovered this recipe. Some typical snacks for me always include protein bars. I never really eat a full protein bar. I'll always eat half of one or a third of one. And then a good rice cake is great every now and then with some peanut butter. I do treat myself to a 70% dark cacao bar after dinner usually. And for this pregnancy, I've been having some green smoothies with spinach. When I'm out and about, I will typically go to Kung Fu Tea. It's my favorite place ever, and I get a coffee milk tea with 30% less sweet. If I'm at home, I drink this almost every morning. It's a vanilla chai latte with some monk fruit extract, some almond milk, a splash of half and half, and this little puppy right here makes a huge difference. This immersion blender gets a really good froth on top, and I do this every day almost. I work from home, so I typically snack a lot throughout the day, but sometimes I will make myself a lunch wrap, and it always looks like this with some spinach, some leftover protein, could be anything, could be chicken, could be tuna, could be ground beef, and then I always eat a lot of avocados, so I peel an avocado. I'll chop that up, and I want to mention that I do use these low-carb tortillas. You could use any low-carb tortilla, and then I top everything off with some everything bagel seasoning. So that's lunch at home, but if I'm going out, which I typically meet my husband for lunch during his lunch break, especially on Tuesdays, we always go to Taco Tuesday, and I will unwrap all of the protein and veggies and dump out that because we don't eat the tortillas, and I top it with salsa and lime. Okay, for this last meal of the day, you're going to need your favorite chicken seasoning. I'm going to be using these chicken tenders, not chicken breasts, but I can use breast with this recipe as well. And this is my favorite way to do chicken, you guys. It's seriously such a life hack for me. I hate tough chicken, and this is almost foolproof. I'm just going to start by seasoning this chicken with a grill rub that's mostly salt, pepper, and garlic. Then I'm going to season the rest of them with just this salt-free garlic, Mrs. Dash, and then I will flip them over and continue seasoning on the other side. You need to have your pan on medium-high heat, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil. You could use avocado oil or ghee. I'm just using EVOO because I like it the best. And I'm doing a water test right here, and this will tell you if your pan is hot enough to sear the chicken and get a nice crust on it. And I will also use this guard because it does pop a lot. So the goal isn't to cook the chicken, the goal is to get a nice flavorful crust going. I'll probably cook it at least a minute or two on each side depending on how hot the pan is, and we're looking for that golden color. Sometimes you can blacken it if you want even, but my husband doesn't like that. Then I'm barely covering the bottom of the Instant Pot with chicken broth. This is just to have a little bit of moisture, and you can see that some of the chicken isn't cooked all the way through. That's totally fine. It will be done by the time it's done in the Instant Pot. And I'm closing the lid and setting it to airtight so that it can pressurize for 7 minutes. While you're waiting for that to pressurize and cook, this is when I prep my side items. It will always include some sort of grain or carb. This could be potatoes, quinoa, couscous, rice. It could really be anything, and always a vegetable. This could be a salad, broccoli. Today it's broccoli. You could let it slow release, but I'm doing the quick release because I've done this so many times and I know it will turn out great no matter what. And here is the final product. You have some really juicy, flavorful chicken, and I love it. It's foolproof. My husband loves it. And you can see the pull apart texture here. It's not like it fell apart in a crock pot. It still has its structure. And then I top it with a sauce, and here is the final product. All right, guys, so that is everything that I eat in a day. My weeks look pretty typical every day. I don't treat myself too much. That 70% cacao bar, that's like the only thing that I really give myself. I do shoot weddings on a regular basis, so I will up more carb-filled meals, but that's going to be like that Kenny's cookie thing. That's just some stuff where I need quick fuel because I'm on my feet for 10 hours and it's burned off quickly. I burn like 3,000 calories on a wedding day. So that's the only time that I really change it up. I do have like ice cream or frozen yogurt, but that's only if we're like out being social with friends. Other than that, I just don't keep any crap in the house. Like I feel so bad for my husband because he opens up our pantry and there's nothing fun in there. There's nothing ready to eat other than like trail mix or nut mixes, but that is how we have been able to just feel better about ourselves and keep a healthier lifestyle. I don't buy chips at all. Like, I keep corn chips on hand sometimes if I make salsa, but other than that, carbs that are kept on a shelf are very, very minimal in this house. And I'm glad we do that because it's really kept my pregnancy weight manageable. I've gained 18 pounds for this whole pregnancy and I'm almost to the end. Yeah, I feel like the low carb way is one of the better ways to eat. That's my opinion. But I did just want to show you guys what I eat in a day because I really enjoy the food that we eat. I think it's really good and I think it's also pretty healthy. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Look out for my pregnancy first trimester symptoms and must-haves, which is coming out next. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.